And welcome back to the channel. Mr. Acolyte here, coming at you with a bit of a special video today. Today we're going to be doing a Rank the Super. We are going to take a look at every character's super and we're going to rank it on a tier list by how hype it is. And with the added bonus of, we won't just be looking at the supers, but we'll be looking at like the super finishes, the dramatic finishes, if you will. Each character, we're gonna do their dramatic, and then we'll put them on a tier list to rank them. Here's the tier list that we're gonna be working with. We've got the categories from top to bottom. They're all pretty self-explanatory, starting with peak, that will be the best, working down to hype, awesome, cool, okay, and meh. So obviously peak is at the top, meh at the bottom, and we will rank each super / dramatic finish accordingly. This is gonna be my first time doing a Rate the Super style video, so definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think about this, and if you wanna see more videos like this in the future. And also, if you could leave a like on this video, it'll let me know that you guys do like seeing this kind of stuff, and I'll definitely do some more of these. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and start ranking some of these supers. Okay, what better place to start than Mr. Granblue himself? Gran, we'll go ahead and let him kick things off. Let's check it out. That's definitely a cool one. I like this one a lot, especially for like a, you know, regular main character one. I feel like there's a lot of cool moments of this. First of all, I like the pose that him and Lyria do together. I think that's really cool. The fact that Bahamut comes out and like breaks some of his restraints is really sick. And I just like the camera work on the Bahamut summoning. The camera work here is really good. And then fun fact right here, when he does the beam, every character in the game has their own reaction to this. So every character will, you know, react in some way to the beam coming at them. What's funny about us doing these supers on Galleon is that she's basically like kind of like emotionless. She almost never really shows any like full emotion. The only thing you really get here is that her ears are kind of drooped. They're kind of drooped down to be like, uh-oh, you know, I'm in trouble. So that's actually a cool little detail within the super too. Obviously the big cool explosion at the end, and then a pretty good little wind pose here. You see like the, you know, the destroyed area and everything. Yeah, all things considered, I feel like I would rank that in awesome. I think awesome is a good way to describe that one. And that's a good starting barometer for supers to get us kicked off on this pretty long list. Okay, next is the true protagonist, Djeeta. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at her finisher. Man, yeah, like most things, Djeeta is similar to Gran, but just better. I actually like hers a lot more than his. First of all, the starting pose, I like how they're on top of Bahamut's head. That's really cool. And then I also love that Bahamut just completely breaks his shackles here. That's really sick. And then the angle of the blast, I also think is awesome as hell right there. And then the pose at the end, yeah, and you get to see Bahamut vanish. This one is sick. It's like I said, it's similar to Gran's, but just better in my opinion. As for the list, I'll go ahead and put her in awesome with Gran. I mean, they're both very similar, so it wouldn't be fair to put her a tier above. Even though I do like hers a lot more, I would still probably put it in the awesome tier. Next up, everybody's favorite stand using Shoto, Katalina. Definitely a very fitting super for Katalina. With this one, I feel like the impact of the hits is really great, but I feel like what really brings this one together is the poses, honestly. I mean, there are stands involved, right? So you need to get the poses right. So this one's kind of like a lore super. If you know the lore of Katalina's character, I feel like that boosts it. Definitely probably not as cool as Gran and Djeeta's, but definitely cool in its own right. On the list, I feel like I would go ahead and go with cool. Like, it's flashy, a little short, but I think cool is a good place to put Katalina's finisher. Next up, everybody's favorite potato, Charlotta. Okay, so for Charlotta, I feel like I do gotta give this, even though it's a pretty simple finisher, I do feel like I gotta give extra points just because, I mean, we all know what this is, right? It's literally, she's literally doing Excalibur. And I mean, who am I to not say that Excalibur is amazing? I do like the little, you know, Michael Bay pose at the end of it too. Definitely brings the whole thing together. Her wind pose at the end is just kinda okay, not the flashiest. I feel like her regular wind pose is actually a lot better where she's on top of the boxes. When it comes to ranking, I feel a little torn. I think I'm gonna go with awesome just for the Saber reference. I'm a big fan of Saber, so I feel like I do love the reference that they gave her Excalibur of all supers that they could have given her. Next up, everybody's favorite top tier, Lancelot. This one we're gonna be doing on Vikala. That way we get the added bonus of the expressions. If you see Vikala on the screen, that's just so that we can see the area where the characters can make unique expressions. Okay, as much as this character annoys me in game, I gotta admit his super is awesome, man. Again, the camera work here is really sick. I love the way like this ice barrage looks. And then, man, yeah, I'm glad we chose Vikala for this because wow, how hilarious is that she's frozen in an idle pose. Like she's in the middle of doing like one of her little like cutesy jumps and she's just stuck that way inside of the icicle before she just gets completely wrecked. Man, yeah, that is pretty great. And I love any super where you get that extra detail of like each character reacts differently, and the pose at the end is pretty great too. Definitely, I feel confident about putting him right up there in the awesome category. I'd probably put him like right ahead of Charlotta. That's a good one for Lance. Next up, we got Mr. Flame Carpet himself, Percival. Sheesh, yeah, Percival's, man. So this one feels a little bit short, but it's just so impactful. First of all, the flame tornado is so sick. Also, very funny again that Galleon, she just has no reaction to any of this. She's like, whatever. But even though this one's kind of short, I feel like this one really pops off because of the wind pose. The wind pose really sells this one. That wind pose is so sick. And the fact that when you get to the quote at the end, the flames are still moving, sheesh. Yeah, I think Percy is gonna have to go up here in the hype category. I feel like that's the first one. His is really, really hype. I feel like the wind pose at the end really sells the whole thing. Next up, what used to be the game's only grappler, Ladiva. Man, this super, sheesh. Okay, where to even begin? So first of all, if you've been on this channel long enough, you know that I hate grapplers with a passion. But man, this super, I feel like every frame of it is perfect. Like, you get the reaction shot here, tosses them into the ring, off the ropes, into the pin. I love the way generic NPC referee flies in. Again, camera work is spectacular here. The slow motion on the pin, and again, you get unique faces from the whole cast here. And then the way his hand slowly comes down, it's like, are they gonna kick out? And it's like, boom, you get the 3 count. The fact that it's a 3 count to the KO, man, that is just so amazing. Needless to say, this is the first one going into peak. That is like peak grappler super right there. That literally, in my opinion, sets the bar. That super is so good. Next up, we got Miss Shameless herself, everybody's favorite zoner, Metera. This one's pretty cool. I feel like my favorite part is the beginning. I like the build up to the shot here. Like, the camera work on the actual build up to the shot is cool. And then the shot of her flying is really sick. Like, the implication that she's flying like super fast. I do wish she did a little bit more when she actually caught up to you. Like, you know, the ending is okay, but I feel like the best part of this super is actually the build up. For Metera's, I would put her in cool. I think I like hers a little bit more than Katalina's, but I don't know if I would put it in the awesome category. Definitely cool though. Next up, we got Lowain and the Bros. This is gonna be an interesting one to rate because their super does not have a cinematic really. It's like an install super. So let's see how we rate this one. Okay, so with this one, again, this one's tricky to rate, but I do kind of love this one. I love this one for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's really cool that they like worked Yugu into this. The fact that you get to actually control a primal randomly in the middle of a match in a fighting game is just hilarious. And anytime I stream this game and people see this for the first time, they're always like, what is going on? And I mean, that's a good reaction, but I feel like what really sells this is the ending, and that's why it's really important to get these, you know, dramatic finishes in there. I feel like the ending is what really brings this all together, because when you actually kill with it, the fact that it's revealed that not only the super but the match itself was all just a dream is actually so insanely amazing. I love that, because these guys are like, you know, they're like the joke characters of the game. So the fact that the match itself wasn't even real, it was just a dream, is really, really sick. I love that extra aspect of it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this pretty high up in awesome. I think this super is really, really creative and really, really fun. Next, we got everybody's favorite ghost, Ferry. Man, this is another one where I feel like the camera work really sells it, because the super itself is not that crazy, but the fact that they do like, you know, the classic sort of like Gundam, you know, object in the distance is getting pelted by missile shot. You know, what anime fan doesn't love that shot? And then I feel like the finale here of Ferry just like re-detonating all the ghosts in one massive explosion. I just think like all the angles of this super just look so sick. And then this is another one where I feel like the wind pose really sells it, because her just getting surrounded by all her, you know, dogs, basically, like all her ghost dogs and ghost buddies. I really, really like this wind pose a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in awesome. I'll put this probably right behind Lowain. I like that one a lot. Next up, we got my goat, Zeta. Man, this is another one of my personal favorites. I love this Superman. I just love the feeling of impact in this one. Like, I love the stomp, and then just like the force of impact from the beam. Like, it really sells just like how powerful her weapon is. You just get a sense of just how insanely destructive this is. It's so destructive that her own her own clothes and hair and everything is destroyed by the end. Disintegrated her own jacket. And then of course, you know, we're blessed by long hair Zeta. Everybody's been asking for long hair Zeta in the game. They only did it in the wind pose, but hey, we'll take it. Yeah, this one I definitely gotta go hype. That, like I said, the force of impact in that one, the stomp and the force of impact gets me hype on that one every time. Next up, we got the walking tank and grappler question mark Vaseraga. This one, I feel like this is what you would call short but sweet. This super is pretty short, but man, I love like the POV of him slicing at you and then you seeing like the effect on the opponent here, like them just getting carried by this gigantic scythe before just blowing up. Again, pretty short, but pretty impactful. And I do like, you know, him powering down at the end. That's always cool to see in supers like these. For this one, I would put it in the awesome category. I'd probably put this one about here. Definitely a pretty awesome super. Next, everybody's favorite. I'm not even gonna do a descriptor. I'm just gonna say everybody's favorite. Narmaya. Sheesh, this is another one that has just a lot of like awesome aspects to it. I love the pose at the beginning is really sick. Of course, the whole, you know, Bato Jutsu draw whole thing, you know, the very anime-esque of, you know, the slash through the body and they die afterwards. Everybody loves that. But I feel like what really sells this one, kind of like I've said with a few others, is the pose at the end. The pose at the end, yeah, this one is a little too sick. I really love this right here. Definitely sells the whole thing in my opinion. This one I would give a pretty high awesome. I think I put it right behind Ferry. That one is definitely awesome. Next up, we got Punch Man himself, Soriz. So for Soriz, he's another slightly unique case. For him, you actually have to go into his install first, and then you can activate his finisher. Sheesh, yeah, this is another one where it's like, man, it's so simple. I mean, he's just punching you, but the effects, the black and white effect on this, I feel like really sells it. Yeah, look at that shot right there, man. That is hype as hell. It even gets its own font, like the classic, you know, Japanese, you know, font right there. Man, that's really sick. And then I love when you actually see the after effect of like what his punch did. You just see like how much destruction it caused from one serious punch. Man, yeah, this one is hype as hell. Definitely another one worthy of the hype category. I really like that one a lot. Next up, we got everybody's favorite beach goer, Zooey. This one, I think, is this one's pretty cool. Like, I feel like the main thing about this is just like getting to see Zooey in like her boss form, you know? Seeing her in her boss form is really cool, but the super itself is not that sick. I mean, it's pretty cool, but compared with some of the others, it is a little on the simplistic side. The wind pose at the end is cool too, so all in all, like, not a bad super, but when you compare it to some of the others, I feel like I gotta rank it a little bit lower. I think I'm gonna have to go with okay. I think the best thing about it is just seeing her in her boss form, but outside of that, I think like all the other supers just have a lot more going on in terms of like just literally everything, like impact, you know, like the angles of the shots, you know, the shot composition, all that stuff. I just feel there's a lot more going on in the other supers. It's not bad, but it's just within this game has so many great cinematics. If you compare it to the others, I do think this is the weakest of the ones we've watched so far. Next up, we got, I promise I'm not biased, the one true GOAT, Cagliostro. All right, I mean, you already know. You already know the vibes. Of course, I love this super, but hear me out. This super is great for many reasons, okay? I love the startup. This is one of those that has a really good startup to it. And then it has another added benefit of it's one of those where every character in the game has their own reaction and even their own quote of like when they're getting encased in the statue. So this is one where you can watch a lot of different characters and see, you know, what they say and like what kind of face they make, you know, when they get encased in the statue. And then the finish is, you know, it's good. It's not like the best, but I feel like what really sells it is the wind pose, man. This is like one of the best wind poses in the game. You know, she literally creates a golden throne from nothing and then just sits on it like a boss. Nah, man, that wind pose is ridiculous. Gotta give this a totally non-biased awesome. Right at the top of awesome. Not gonna go as far as to put it in hype, but due to the things I mentioned, I gotta put it at the top of awesome. I really love that super. Next up, everybody's favorite Unga Bunga Fox, Yuel. Also, in case you're wondering, I had to do this super on a different stage because for some reason, the wind pose looked really weird on the other stage. I feel like they have to go back and try to change the angling because basically like a bush like covers up the wind pose. It's so random, but either way, we're gonna do it on this stage so that the wind pose doesn't get obscured. This is a really cool one. I'm kind of a sucker for supers where other characters show up, characters that aren't necessarily in the game. Kind of like when Yun summons Yang, or, you know, when rival schools characters summon each other, stuff like that. I'm kind of a big sucker for this, like, you know, seeing her buddy show up to help her with her level 3, even though she's not a playable character in the game. And this is definitely one of the better wind poses in the game. I really like this wind pose a lot. For the rating, I'm feeling like I kind of want to go at near the back of awesome. I feel like the wind pose sells it, and just the fact that it's like a really cool looking, unique, you know, duo super. The duo super really sells it for me. Next up, we got nobody's favorite, Uno. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sugarcoat this one, Chief. Like, yeah, this is just like, I mean, again, it's not terrible, but within this game where the cinematic bar is so high, I mean, he's ultimately just blasting in every direction. We don't even really see the impact of these blasts or how it interacts with the character. You know, even in Gran's, you know, super, which is like a little on the generic side, like the effect of the blast and the camera angles, again, really sell it. But this is just one still shot. Like, you know, the fact that he's like in space in the background, that's cool, but there's just not really a lot going on here. Again, especially compared to the ones we've already seen. And then the wind pose is not really anything to write home about, because some of these, the wind pose really sells it. Even if the super itself is not that crazy, sometimes a great wind pose can just really make it pop off. But this wind pose is just kind of nothing. I'm sorry, but I feel like I gotta put this man in meh. I'm sorry to you Uno fans out there. I'm not even trying to hate on this guy, but I feel like somebody's gotta go in meh, bro. And I'm sorry to tell you, it's him. Next, we got everyone's favorite loner gunman, Eustace. Man, now that is a super. Okay, so first of all, this is another one where I love the startup animation. Startup animation is so tight. I love the way it blasts them, and then that glass break effect, the way the screen shatters like glass, that is so sick. And then this is another one of those where, you know, the release form of the weapon is supposed to be like insanely powerful within the lore, and this really shows that. I love this shot of like the sky being affected, and then boom, just like the whole area just gets destroyed by lightning. And then I really like the wind pose here too. Like, it's kind of what I was talking about that was lacking in Uno's. Like, you just see how much destruction this caused. Like, the whole area is just charred. That just adds so much to the impact of the super for me. I also love the small little detail that his radio that he uses in his wind poses is broken now, and you just hear like static coming out of it. That's such a cool little extra detail. Yeah, I feel like I definitely got to put Eustace in hype. That's a really hype super. There's just so much going on, and it really is like up there in terms of just like pretty much everything you want, you know, camera work, impact, all that stuff, little Easter eggs. That one's really sick. I think I would actually put him ahead of Soriz. Yeah, that one is amazing. I love that one. Next up, we got the king of button mashing, 6. This one is honestly really good. There's a lot that I like about this one. I just love how his speed is portrayed here. Like, this man is moving. Not only is he moving like super fast, but like his clones are just jumping you, like him and his clones. And the way the camera is like constantly switching from all of them hitting you and then goes into like this crazy barrage. It's really, it's like it's happening so fast that even as a viewer, it's hard for you to see what's going on. That's just how fast they're getting attacked. And then this is a really sick finishing pose right here. His wind pose kind of okay, but the actual finishing pose of the super is really badass. Yeah, for ranking this one, yeah, I do think I gotta give it up on this one for hype. That is a pretty hype super. Just the speed of it and like the different angles of the opponent just getting you know, sliced and diced like at turbo speed. I feel like I gotta kind of put that one in hype. The kinetic energy in that super is crazy. Next, we've got everybody's favorite yandere, Vira. Okay, so even though this one is really short, I actually really like this one because even though it's so short, it's just got a lot of personality to it. Because, you know, her whole personality is that, you know, basically she's insane, and that really shines through. Like, I just love all these crazy, insane expressions she has. Like, look at how scary that face looks right there. That's really cool. And then, yeah, the explosion of roses at the end is a nice little touch. But this is actually only one of her SSBAs. Let's go ahead and take a look at the install version. Okay, so that was the regular. We're gonna go ahead and rate these two together. So that was the regular one. Now let's take a look at her second install version. This one's pretty cool. I feel like I like her first one a little more. It just has a little bit more personality. It is cool the way you see them just getting hit by bullet hell, and then like the spooky POV you get right here is pretty cool. But overall, I think I just like the first one a little more. Like I said, I think it just had a lot more of her personality in it. And this one, she's a lot more reserved. For the rating, I think I would go with awesome. I do think this one belongs in the awesome category. I think I put it around here. Next, we got Mr. Bossman himself, Beelzebub. For this one, I'm not really sure how I feel. It's pretty cool. I do like, you know, the way he summons the orb, you know, makes it smaller. And then it's pretty cool that he like slams it into your face. Like instead of like throwing it at you, he like punches you with it. And then you just see like the biggest explosion ever. But it is really short. Like, I mean, I feel like this is probably one of the shortest ones in the game. The wind pose after is also pretty cool too. It's definitely not bad, but I think in comparison again to the ones that we've already seen, I think I would put this in cool. I think I would put it around here. I do think I like Metera and Katalina's a little bit more. Those have a little bit more personality to them. So yeah, I would put it like around here in the cool category. Next up, we got the lewd man, Belial. This is definitely a really cool one. I like the build up to the attack itself. The build up is really cool, and then it's really impactful when it goes off. Another one that feels a little on the short side, but I do think this is another one that is really kind of saved by the wind pose at the end. The wind pose at the end is just so like disrespectful and devious, but it goes like so well with the character. Man just stomps your skull and just starts laughing about it. Definitely goes hand in hand with, you know, what this character's all about. For this one, I feel like I would put it at the top of cool. I feel like it's a really cool super. I think I like it more than everybody else in this category. Definitely a cool one. And since we just did Belial, of course, the next one's going to be Avatar. Okay, this one is really, really cool. I actually like this one a pretty good amount. I feel like what I really like about this one starts at the beginning. The build up to the attack itself, like to the activation of the super, is really sick. I love the sound effect and just like, you know, the weight of his strike here. You really feel like how heavy this blow is. And then this transition is really, really sick. Just the way the camera pans back and you see the opponent's about to be, you know, stabbed by so many of the energy swords, and then it pans back again and you just see they're within that little dimension and he just smashes it. That's really, really cool. It's so simple, but it's very effective and very impactful. This one I feel like I gotta put in awesome. That's a pretty awesome super. Like the way it's directed, because again, it's pretty simple, but like the direction of it is, the setup and payoff for this super is really good. Like there's a pretty good setup and then a really big payoff at the end. I like that about this one. Next, we got Totsugeki Bogard, also known as Anila. Yeah, this one is okay. I feel like this one The thing that I probably like the most about it is just, you know, of course, obviously the Terry pose. You know, she literally does Buster Wolf, which is great. And it's a cool build up, but I don't feel like the payoff is really rewarded here. I like the build up a lot. This angle of all the sheep, you know, about to jump you is cool. But when they actually get attacked by the sheep, it's just kind of like, you know, it's okay. It's like the setup is great, but I don't feel like the payoff really rewards the setup that much. And the win pose is just, you know, it's okay. I feel like, yeah, this one should definitely go in the okay category. I think I would put it over Zooey because, again, I like the Terry Bogard reference. But outside of that, I do feel like everything that happens after is a little on the weak side. Next, we've got the game's most popular knight by far, Siegfried. Yeah, this one definitely feels like it goes in the awesome category just right off the bat. I mean, this one's got so much energy. I love the charge at the beginning. Really sick looking. Man goes berserk. But what really sells it, of course, is the anime flashback. My man envisions his buddies, and that snaps him back into reality before he basically, you know, kills the opponent and is able to, you know, do a true strike instead. That's definitely sick as hell. Yeah, this one feels like it definitely deserves to be an awesome. I think I would put it around here. Yeah, Siegfried, he's got a really good one. Next up, everybody's favorite Chunibyo, Grimnir. This one is mostly just funny. It leans really well into his whole, like, you know, Chuny shtick. You know, he's doing the whole, like, he's doing all the poses and all the cliches, which is really cool. It is pretty cool that he, like, drops the rose on you and just blows you up with it. It is a little on the short side, though, but even though it's so short, I do think it's pretty impactful overall, and the wind pose is pretty great. All in all, I feel like I would put this one in cool. That's definitely like the definition of a really cool super. Next, we got public enemy number 1, Nier. Yeah, this one is okay. She has 2 different versions. One where death just slashes you immediately, and then this is the other one where you actually get to see the crazy eyes. I think the crazy eyes are cool. I mean, it's very, very impactful, and it really, relates to you like the psychosis of this character. But outside of that, I mean, it's really just a slash from death, so there's not really that much going on here. Though the wind pose, I think, is really sick. The way death like comes out of like basically like, a pool of blood, just implying what you just did to the opponent is really sick. I think this one is definitely carried by the beginning and the end. With that being said, though, I feel like I would just have to put this in okay. I don't know if I like it. I think it edges out Zooey just due to, like I said, the beginning and the end. I actually think are both really cool, but the actual like finisher itself is just kind of like, yeah, it's a slash. Next up, we got the fallen one, Lucilius. Sheesh. Yeah, this is clearly a very awesome one. I mean, it's Paradise Lost. I mean, who doesn't love Paradise Lost? The effect of the attack here, like stretching out, just looks so sick. I also love the way we basically follow the projectiles downward into the opponent before they get blasted. And I feel like what really sells it too is the wind pose. The fact that during the wind pose, he does like another attack that just blows you up even more. It blows up everything, and he strikes a pose. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I feel like Lucy's got to go pretty high on awesome. That is a awesome super if I ever saw one. Next up, we got everybody's favorite guest character, who's a guest character in everything. To be. This is a cool one. Like, it's a little on the short side too, like I said about a couple of these, but it is cool that it's packed with so many references, you know, to the original game, the actual suplex, and I love the added touch of, you know, the dodge animation before she strikes the pose and, you know, they blow up. Definitely really cool there. And then of course the wind pose is really nice. And it's a nice extra cool treat that her, you know, her eye patch can actually break off after she takes enough damage. That's really cool too. Yeah, this is a good one. I feel like I would put it about here. I put it like right behind Belial's. Definitely a lot of personality in that one. Next, we got everybody's favorite goofball, Vayne. Okay, man, I don't know what it is about this one. This one is really quick and like not a lot happens, but man, for some reason, I love this one. I think this one is just so cool. The buildup is really sick. The way he just hulks out and then just hits you so hard. And then I love the emphasis on, you know, the giant swing here. And then there's just the fact that he just, yeah, this shot especially right here is so sick. The whole like emphasized, you know, inky black lines. I love that. And then just the fact that he just catapults you into the sky and you just detonate in the sky so high that you never come back down. Like, it's so simple, but I don't know, there's something about this one that I just love this. Yeah, I gotta put this one in awesome. I think, I don't know, there's something about this one that I can't even really explain to you why, other than like what you see right there. I just love that super. I think it is so cool looking. Next up, the most beautiful gorilla you'll ever see, the daughter of Soul Bad Guy, Beatrix. Man, this one, oh my god, man. Okay, this one, so this probably has like my favorite buildup of any super. First of all, I love like this whole animation here of her like unleashing, you know, the sword's true form, smacking you with it. And then this right here, I just love the slow like lift off sequence, like literally like a rocket is taken off. And then again, like the crazy like emphasis ink here on the animation of when she's actually like, you know, going for the slash, combined with the voice work, just has such amazing buildup to like finally you just have this massive impact And I love the way you see the blade like bending down, and then you can see in comparison to how huge this attack is compared to the opponent, and they just get completely obliterated. And then add to all that, the impact of all this was so powerful that her entire outfit is basically destroyed and the horizon is destroyed, and then she's just sitting there like, whoops. Yeah, needless to say, that's peak. Beatrix, definitely peak. That super is just, it's ridiculous. Next up, we got Arxis's OC Please Don't Steal Versusia. Wow, okay, this feels like a hard one to rate because on the surface, it's really simple. She basically just blasts you, right? But I feel like a lot of what goes into it is really well done. This angle is really sick when she shoots the beam, and then again, they do that really sick effect, and then the way the beam is just like pouring out over the landscape. And I like a really small touch that you might not even have noticed is the number of hits. Like, it's guaranteed to go to 999 hits by the time she's done. And not just that, but it actually blows up the entire world. So the world is just gone. The world is just gone now, and now she's just standing in a void alone. Like, that is pretty damn amazing. Yeah, even though that one's kind of simple, I feel like the payoff, I think, puts it up in the awesome category. That the final shot and just like, you know, the 999 and the camera angles and stuff, I think warrant it being pretty high in awesome. That's a crazy super. Next, everybody's favorite rat, Vikala. Man, honestly, this is probably my favorite super in the game. I think this one is just amazing. I mean, the fact that they work in the whole angle that, you know, she's a guardian spirit and also a pop idol. The fact they work all that in to her super, that her super transports you to a live concert. And what's crazy is this whole concert sequence has so many different iterations. She has like a whole bunch of different things that she says here. Sometimes she sings a song, sometimes she just talks, sometimes she does a combination of both. Like, you can do this super a bunch of different times and hear a bunch of different, you know, things that she says right here. And then also the fact that she's basically killing the opponent with cuteness is hilarious. And then the final attack here, also, I love all the silhouettes. You can see like the different NPC silhouettes of, like, you know, everybody at the concert, but also like the selling point too is the ending here where they actually get, you know, killed by cuteness, and she has her own victory screen. Crazy. And again here, like with a few other ones, every character in the game has their own reaction. Like, every character makes like some sort of face here, and this is one where you can go back and like look at everybody's reactions, because, you know, it's funny to see like the evil characters here and different stuff like that. You just get a whole bunch of different interactions. And the win pose is amazing because, you know, the concert ends and then she takes off the ears and basically goes back to, you know, her normal like secluded form. This super, I think, is amazing. Definitely gotta put this one in the peak category. I love that one. It's so good on so many levels. Next up, everyone's favorite, basically, character, Sandalphon. This is another pretty awesome one. Of course, it is the same attack as Lucilius, but we did the attack on Bubs, which gives you this extra little scene right here during the charge up, which is really cool. You get that extra little bonus little shot right there. That's really cool. And then I like the angle here, how it's like a reverse angle of the one that Lucilius does. And then the actual impact of it is really sick too. Like, and I love the after effect of how you see like the beam like traveling beyond the clouds, and then afterwards the wings falling in the feathers, excuse me, falling in the background is a really awesome touch to the wind pose. Yeah, that's a great one. I would go ahead and put that one right next to Lucy for obvious reasons. And last but not least, we've got the newest grappler to the game, Galleon. Sheesh. Yeah, this one's pretty hype, bro. I do like this one a lot. It's just like the impact of it, like the impact and the scale. The fact that she just instantly creates a massive island in the sky with you in the center, and then she takes her true form, which is so big that it towers over the clouds. Then she proceeds to just smack you. And by the way, this super is called SWAT, because that's all it is. She creates an island and then swats it, which is hilarious. And I mean, sheesh, the damage from that is just insane. And then the wind pose here, where she basically lets go of her true form and goes back to her humanoid form, is really cool looking. It's almost as if like nothing ever happened. She just goes back to where she was. Definitely really sick. Yeah, this one I'm gonna go ahead and put in high. I'd put it around here. And there you have it. We've officially covered every character in the game. I feel like things are spread out pretty well. Most of the supers in this game, I would say, are at least awesome. I think this game has a lot of just really great cinematics, really great, you know, wind pose and stuff like that. And I feel like this list reflects that. A lot of them are really cool. And again, even the ones that I ranked a little bit lower, I don't think they're bad. It's just that like all the ones up here and above are just so cool that, you know, it's, you know how tier lists work, you know, just because something's lower doesn't mean it's terrible. The only one that I do feel is probably kind of bad is Uno. I just don't really like his. Like, I like his the least. But everybody else's, I can at least say, is like at least pretty cool. Even the characters in the okay category all have something that I like about them. And then the ones up here, just, I mean, we talked about it. The ones up here, I just love most of these supers. All the ones in awesome and above, especially the peak ones. The peak, I really love those every time I see them. They're just so expressive and so cool, so creative. And yeah, love the cinematics in this game, man. They're so good. But that's gonna bring us to the end of this rank the supers. Hope you guys enjoyed, but I appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy this, feel free to leave a like, as it does help out the video a lot. Be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you thought. Like, where would you place the characters? You know, am I crazy? Are some people ranked too high or some ranked too low? Definitely let me know. I want to know what you guys think. Also, just let me know what you think about this video. This is my first time doing one of these, so I'm definitely open to some, you know, criticism. Let me know what you guys thought. If you want to see me do more of these, if you want to see more Rank the Supers for other games in the future, let me know about that too in the comments. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.